course, we're guys here for Slap News, catching up with Christine Wolmarans. How you doing, Christine?
I'm doing great, and yourself?
I'm doing really good, thank you. We haven't seen you since Power Slap number 5. I know this is your debut on Slap News, so I'm elated to have you here. I want
Thank
to
you.
talk about that entire experience and what it was like being part of Power Slap, coming to Las Vegas, to the United States, and living out, which was probably a childhood dream for you.
Yeah, it was a trip, man. I mean, just getting contacted and them asking me to come and do this, I felt like this must be a dream. Because for me, as an MMA fighter, that has always been my dream to get to Las Vegas, to go to the UFC Institute and so forth. So that was like unreal that this is happening. So you're kind of in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, is this actually going to take place? Is this going to happen? And then you're on that plane traveling to Las Vegas. First time going out of my own country, and I'm going to Las Vegas. It was one hell of an experience. So it was absolutely awesome trip for me, and I loved every second of it, being there, the vibe there in Las Vegas as well, and the Power Slap experience. Wow. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to this interview because being able to speak to you during the press conference, I thought that you were very articulate. You were very smart. You can tell that you were seasoned and trained, and you've been around a little bit. We've seen Danie Van Heerden come into Power Slap and, in the super heavyweight division. And I know there's alignment there. Did you fight in one of Danie's organizations previously?
I did. Yeah, me and Danie, we do come a long way with regards to, we actually fought for the same MMA organization in South Africa as well. And then, he contacted me when he started hosting slap fightings in South Africa under one of his organizations. So I did compete under his organization. So we come a long way and we know each other quite well.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, Danie's doing his thing, obviously still active. What have you been doing since we last seen you? Power Slap number 5. Are you still training Slap Pacific, or are you kind of back in your MMA groove?
Both. So I'm doing my MMA training all the way, which I think is great conditioning for slap fighting in any case. And then I'm definitely not, not letting down the slap fighting part of it. So I'm every day still training my slap, still training my technique, changing a little bit of things here and there, some things that I've learned over there in Las Vegas. So just tweaking my technique a little bit and accuracy a little bit. So I think with the next, we'll definitely see a change in the actual slap as well.
Yeah, awesome. Let's talk about Sheena Bathory right now for a little bit. Obviously, every fight that we've seen in Power Slap has included her up until this point.
Yeah.
How devastating was it to get a slap from her? Have you been hit harder in MMA, or is she the real deal?
I've definitely been hit harder. She has got a lot of power, but with slap fighting, it's so much about where you get hit. It's not just about power, but that accuracy of where you actually get hit. And I think she would maybe agree, especially after this last fight. If you just get hit on the right button, it's not as much about power. It's literally you get reset. It's someone just hit the reset button. So I've been hit much, much harder. But all to her, I think she was a brilliant opponent, and she hit the actual placement of a hit made a big difference. So I don't see it as devastating completely. I'm very happy with the competing and being there, and I'm just looking forward to the next one. So I've got no regrets.
Yeah, I mean, she's made it public that she's actually looking to take an MMA bout. Maybe she should go to South Africa and compete against you in MMA for a round.
Oh, any day, any day. Any day, I'd love that. No, absolutely. I did see she was training MMA as well, and I thought that quite interesting. Different area, different sport, but yeah, I'll be up for that any day.
Yeah. Getting to see her at this last Power Slap event, Power Slap number 6, go up against Jackie Cataline. What did you think of that match overall?
Well, wow, what a shocker there. So I've got a lot of thoughts about it. So the Jackie slap was a stepping fell, definitely. I mean, that there was a stepping there. I think there's a lot of controversy with regards to the clubbing and where the slap placement was. And I mean, even from the slap background I came from South Africa, it's like bit different rules with regards to the slap placement. That's why I also said I'm going to tweak some of my slap placement. So here you're not allowed to slap anywhere below the cheek. So you have to slap on the cheek, solidly on the cheek. So anything below that's on the jawline, and that's where you see Jackie hits her strike. But you'll see Sheena also, her strike is also on the jawline. So that's why I say it's a bit of a controversy for me, because a lot of the knockouts in power slap is on the jawline, and that's where that little switch off, that reset button is. If that jaw starts moving very violently, the disconnect just happens on the spine. So I think that is, it can be debated. I don't know if it was clubbing, because if that was clubbing, then technically Sheena's strike that knocked me out was also clubbing. So, I mean, I think, but it was definitely a stepping foul. There was a stepping. She moved her foot twice, so that was a stepping foul.
Mm-hmm. Where do you kind of see the evolution of the female division within power slap going? I mean, do you see a bigger number of women aspiring to get into it, or do you think it's still going to be a challenge to recruit women?
I hope to see more women come into it. I think it sometimes has a bit of a bad rap, slap fighting, and I find it strange. I try to sometimes explain to people, when I get ready, because you've got a lot more respect, in a sense, when you do MMA or boxing. And I tell people, when I get ready for an MMA fight, my MMA camp is 10 times worse than what it was to get slapped by Sheena, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Because during training, you get hit, you get pounded, you get blasted. I mean, a proper MMA camp is hard. It's hard on your body. It's hard. You get hit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But with slap, it's not like with slap fighting, you go and stand and get slapped in the face every day. That's not how you train for it. So, so I hope to kind of break that idea that it's this barbaric type of event, where I think it's actually, there's so much technique that
Mm-hmm.
goes into that one single movement, and one small mistake is you're lost. You ruin that slap, or you get fouled, or you get disqualified. There's so many small techniques that you have to look at, and small pointers.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I would love to actually break that stigma and show that it's actually there's a lot more to it than just getting slapped in the face. There's
Mm-hmm.
much more to it, and I would love to see more women come out and try it. I believe there must be more out there that are willing to try it, and I hope to see that sport growing, because obviously I'm looking for an opponent, and the more the merrier.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about it. So obviously you have a desire to get back. So Frank or
Yes,
Erica gives you a call. You're gonna take another match in power slap.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a call. I'm ready. I've been training hard, and yeah, if
Mm-hmm.
you call me, I'm there.
Yeah, I mean, South Africa is on fire right now. Obviously, Duplessis, being the world champion, the talk of UFC, coming to Africa. I mean, you got Danie Van Heerden and his big personality.
Yes.
And I'm sure I'm leaving out some incredible, notable, combat sport athletes, and even just saying that very shortly. But what is it with South Africa right now that it is, breeding and being recognized now on a worldwide stage in combat sports? Like, what is the impetus of that?
Yeah, I think we in South Africa, we've always been great sportsmen and sportswomen, and the combat sports, there has never been different. It's just we don't didn't necessarily have a chance to put it out there as of yet, and a great deal goes to what Drickus and Cameron has been able to achieve, and actually put a bit of a more of a spotlight on South Africa, and show, hey, listen, we actually have the talent here as well. We love our sport in all sports. So being a South African growing up here, sport is such a big part of our lives in all factors, and combat sports is no different. So you we are bred here like that. That's just, we're homegrown, homegrown
Mhm.
fighters.
Absolutely. But on more of a, a homegrown or personal level, being here in North America, United States, Canada, we may take it for granted, but what is life like in South Africa, on a daily basis? Like, do you feel safe on a daily basis?
So I mean, it's a culture shock when you go to America and
Mhm,
you see people, um, not as in tune with safety as we are here.
mhm,
But here we know what to expect and know what to do, know what to avoid, and that kind of thing. And I think sometimes the media also gives it a bit of, it looks much more hectic than it is. But
mhm,
yes, we do certain things that you might find weird here. Like there's no way you drive with a window open, for example, in the
mhm,
streets because you'll get hijacked. It's just a part of
mhm.
life here. So we're used
Yeah.
to it and we know about it. So it's not that I ever feel unsafe because we do know how to look after ourselves. We are vigilant in our
Mhm,
security and that kind of thing.
mhm.
But it's also not as bad as what is always portrayed as in the media. I mean, yes, if you go to certain areas, but I believe that would be the same in the States as well.
It
Certain
is.
areas
Yeah.
are not just as safe as other areas. So
Mhm,
being a South African, you're aware of it, and I mean, we've got such beautiful and amazing tourist locations here,
mhm,
and the tours that come here are they love it here, and there's nothing that bad happens here. So
mhm,
it's like I said, I think in every country you'll get your bad spots or your bad situations. Same
mhm.
as with South Africa, you just need to know where to go, what to do. That's all.
Gotcha. It's great to hear because I mean we don't always get to see it, so it's nice to see, especially from the inside, because you really can't trust, as you alluded to, in regards to what the news is like, and obviously they pick out the bad culprits, and it may not speak for the population, at large. So it's great to really connect. Do you have rolling blackouts at all, like where they cut your power every so often and stuff like that?
Yes, we do. So what we have, we call it load shedding.
Okay.
So the infrastructure at this stage, the power grid can't handle the load.
Hmm.
So what they're doing basically is they've got your area that you live in. You've got a schedule. So you'll go like right now. I believe we're in stage 2, which means we have about 2 hours that we go down a day. So
Okay.
you get a schedule from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. You don't have power.
Gotcha.
But being South Africans, we've all made a plan. Most of us have, one way or another, gotten solar and set it up in such a way that it just switches over. Even companies, I mean, you can imagine what kind of effect that would have on a business if
Totally.
you lose power 2 hours a day.
Hmm.
And even when those stages go up, it can go up to, I mean, it's been a while since we've been to a stage 6 situation, but then it's about 12 hours that you lose power a day, which can be devastating to any business. But like I said, being South Africa, we kind of roll with the blow. So
Hmm.
we've had the situation, we've figured out a way to overcome it. Most companies have total power failover, solar houses, all the houses have solar power failover. So we
Hmm.
we barely notice it anymore at this stage because we're all geared up one way or another.
Awesome. I appreciate you joining me. I know it's late there for you. You're probably going to bed, but great catching up. And if you need anything whatsoever, please feel free to reach out anytime. Okay, Christine?
Thank you very much.